Trump details his plan for revenge on the deep state, but will he actually be able to pull it off? Here's a clip.
He did go to the big Turning Point annual conference, and here's a bit of his speech.
That was only the beginning. With your support in 2024, we are going to put America first like never before, and we are going to finish the job that we so successfully started. You know, many people, it was 4 years, but many people say it was one of the most successful presidencies ever. Some people say it was the most successful presidency. When I get back into the Oval Office, I will totally obliterate the deep state. They will be obliterated.
I don't know, some of it, again, I voted for him and I like him in a lot of respects. It's starting to seem like this rerun that I've seen a million times before. But Brian, this concept of that he'll get the deep state this time. Look, he did a pretty freaking good job as president, especially those first 2.5 years. But in the end, he did award Fauci on the way out. The deep state seemed to have gotten him as a former 3-letter guy in the CIA. Like, yeah. Do you think he knows what he's up against? Does anyone really know what he's up against?
Well, I don't think he knew.
Or any of these guys.
Yeah, fair. Look, I think in 2016, he certainly didn't know. I think the folks around him didn't have any understanding of how bad it was going to be. And then he was basically thrown into the wood chipper by these guys at the FBI, the agency, and others. And so I think that he's been pretty burned pretty heavily. I think everybody in the country knows how bad those organizations have got, those mid-level, those senior-level individuals, the James Comeys, the Christopher Wrays now. We've got some more reports from inspector generals and special counsels that said these guys are up to no good. So I think that there is now a wind at his back for the conversation that the country has to have and has been having, that we need some pretty serious reform, and we need to toss a lot of folks out of office. So the real question is going to be, does he have the support on Capitol Hill to do that? You know, that's going to be, I think, something I'll be looking for certainly the next day after we all vote, who controls the House and the Senate, because that power of the purse is going to be very important. I know that he's looking at, and his team are looking at executive orders to toss out a lot of mid-level, folks at their will or at their whim. Maybe they'll be able to do that. I think it's called Schedule F or something. At any rate, the point is, they're looking at doing what they need to do to clean the joint up. It's got to be done. I think most of us now understand that. Does he have the congressional, backing to do that, particularly with the power of the purse? That's the part that I think really that will shape this whole conversation. Can he actually do what he's saying he wants to do?
Michael, putting aside the power of the purse and whether the Republicans have Congress and Senate and all the stuff, do you think he can staff with the right people that can do this thing? I mean, that's what I'm look, I have said this a million times, even though I obviously am supporting DeSantis. If at the end of this, Trump is president and DeSantis is my governor, I will be fine. I guarantee you I will be fine, and I will gladly vote for Trump, and that will be it. My concern with the Trump presidency at this point, though, is that he will get there and nobody is going to want to work for him for good reason.
Personnel has been a problem for Trump. He's had some real stars, but by his own admission, he's had some real clunkers in there. And so my most out-of-the-box thought, if the polls remain as they are, if Trump becomes the nominee, I know a lot of people are saying DeSantis should be VP. I think we both know neither of those guys are going to go for that arrangement. Happening. At the very least, DeSantis as chief of staff would not be the worst idea, because the real shining mark for DeSantis here is he knows personnel and he knows how to wield power, and he's done it on a smaller stage in Florida. But that would be the thing that Trump is talking about right now. How do you wield power on the personnel? And the issue is the deep state, depending on how you count the bureaucracy, just employees for the federal government, is like 2 million people. It is just so many, many people. Even under the umbrella of the DHS, you're talking about 250,000 people. And so in order to make substantial change in there, you would have to switch out 40 to 50,000 people just to start to get the engine and machinery moving in the right direction again.
That's crazy. 50,000 people just to start. That is insane. I don't agree with Michael Knowles, though. Ron DeSantis hiring staff, he's okay at it. He's not bad, but his campaign managers are not that great. And if you look at Trump in that respect, his campaign managers are fantastic. But yeah, with other stuff, he is just not very good, like FBI directors and stuff like that. Trump is not very good at hiring top people. And like the military general who said he was going to pull the troops out of the Middle East and then just lied to him. How are you going to stop that from happening again? It would be ideal to, get people that have never been really in government before. But how are you going to get someone that's part of the, the head of the DOJ or the FBI that's never been in the government before, right? You kind of have to. Or you could just demolish the organizations, which is something I would vote for. But then even the people right under you, how do you know they're not going to stab you in the back? They should be, business people, probably not in government before, or if they have been, they've done a great job and, haven't really stabbed people in the back and stuck to their principles. If not, you just can't trust them, and you're just going to have the first term all over again, I think fresh faces would be good, though. Maybe even political commentators or something like that. People that their principles, even if they are not yes men, they don't want everything that Trump wants exactly. But for the most part, look at these guys on the round table, right? Dave Rubin and Michael Knowles, you get those guys in there, they're definitely going to do some good stuff. But would they actually want to do it? That is a really, really good question. But how else are you going to do it? You're going to just get people that stab you in the back again, won't do what you say, and then the deep state's not going to go anywhere. But it's interesting. Trump definitely seems like he's on the warpath, though. He's like, I am obliterating the deep state. I think the best way to do that is just to kill all of it. Kill all of it. And then you just start from scratch and find out what is actually needed, because 99% of the federal government's just nonsense. Even the stuff from the Pentagon. All that money goes to the Pentagon, and like I covered the other day, they can't even get software good enough to block emails from going to a Russian ally in Mali, because instead of typing MIL, they typed ML, and these guys at the Pentagon don't even know how to get software working that can block it from doing that. And this is just the whole bureaucracy. It's a giant mess. It's so bloated. But if you could somehow, 4 years is kind of a long time. If you could just cut all of that and start from scratch, maybe you really could get some really good people in there. And maybe you really could obliterate the deep state. But going in piece by piece, thinking you're going to, that's what he did last time, right? Kept everything the same, went by piece and thought he could replace certain people here and there. It's never going to work. You're going to either get someone that's going to lie to you and just wait for the next president and do what they want, or you're going to get someone in there and then the next president's just going to fire them. So it really has to just be like scorched earth. And again, he really needs to get people in there that he really can trust. Not people that are going to lie to him, not people that are going to just sit around and stuff like that and not do what he wants and give excuses. He needs some real people that wants what he wants. But that's easier said than done, right? How do you find those people, and how do you find that many people? 50,000 people. Again, you just got to scorch earth it, get rid of the whole DHS, start from scratch, get a person in there that you can really trust, and then they can build it back up. Otherwise, it's just going to be first term all over again, and it's going to be really disappointing for people that are voting for Trump that really do want the deep state destroyed, because that's like the whole problem. People know this. The bureaucrats are the problem. The deep state's the problem. But how do you actually go about replacing all them? It seems easier said than done. Do I think Trump can do it? I do think Trump can do it, but it's going to be really hard, and he really has to go really hard. Again, not getting these, with the first term, he's went for a lot of people that had experience, and then his staffers would tell him, oh, this guy's good, and he'd be like, okay, they have a great record. What's the guy's name? Bill Barr. Right? His attorney general. He got him in there thinking he was going to do investigations, thought he'd have his back if there was election fraud. No, he didn't help him at all. He went against Trump the first chance he got. And then the other guy, I forget what his name is. Trump called him Mr. Magoo. I can't remember his name. He was his original attorney general. And then Trump was just going against him instantly. So Trump in the business world has a pretty good track record of hiring people. In government, I'd say he has a pretty bad track record. Because, look at these people he hires, and then they go against him right away. And that's who he hired. He can't make that mistake again. I think he can do it again, but it's going to be tough, and he really has to choose extremely wisely on who he hires and he has to really get fresh people in there. But that's just my opinion. What is your opinion of the story? Please let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for daily news updates, hit that notification bell, and share this video to help spread the news. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.